Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and tonight I just finished watching Secret Invasion Episode 3, and yeah, we pretty much continue on with our kind of slow burn, really well written dialogue, espionage, thriller kind of stuff with the occasional action scene. And, you know, look, I've heard that the viewership numbers are not great, and that's, I think, a larger issue overall with maybe Disney Plus shows and kind of the reputation they've been getting. But I continue to love this show. I am kind of starting to wonder, like, I guess where the direction is going as far as, like, if there's a bigger plot happening here, because essentially what this episode is there's a setup to, you know, they got to stop this another bombing, another attack, because remember, the Skrulls, all they're really doing at this point is they have a bunch of different cells that are, you know, basically they've infiltrated a bunch of different, you know, terror networks across the entire world, all supposedly from different countries, and the idea is that they keep attacking different people and they're trying to start an entire world war, all these countries attacking each other, right? So all this one is they have a is it a British submarine, is it a Russian submarine, I don't remember. I think it's a British one, actually. It's a British submarine called Neptune, and it's going to attack this plane, and so they have to, you know, they have to work together to try and stop that attack from happening, get this guy to abort the mission. And basically it turns out to just be an entire ploy, so that way Gravik can figure out who is the mole in the entire operation, right? Like, who's actually feeding Nick Fury and Talos their intel. And that's pretty much what the entire episode's about. And I guess my thing is, you know, at first I was thinking, like, well, okay, so Talos' daughter, what's her name? What's her, like, actual, like, Skrull name? I don't remember. Anyways, his daughter, so obviously she is the one that's sending the intel, right? And, you know, to Gravik's credit, he suspects her immediately, right? He's like, hey, so the guy from last episode who was being tortured, he didn't know where we were going, so how did he give away where our hideout was, you know? And she's like, he probably gave an educated guess, right? And so my first thing was like, okay, so they're in the car together, and he takes a phone call and he starts talking about, like, oh yeah, the operation's going as planned, this plane is gonna be at these coordinates exactly, right? And my first thing was like, okay, so if I'm her, right, if I was in her shoes, if I'm in her position at this moment, I'm like, well, he just openly suspected me of being the mole, so I'm not going to use this information. You know, that's the first thing, because, you know, we're the only two people in this car, so it's like, if suddenly Nick Fury knows this information, he's going to know for sure that I'm the spy. But she does text Talos what he just said on the phone, which leads into the whole series of events of the episode where they stop this attack from happening. So, to be fair, there was an attack that was going to happen. They did stop an attack, so it wasn't like for nothing. It wasn't like a fake out, like, oh, there wasn't actually an attack, it was all a trick. It's like, no, there really was an attack. So, to be fair there. But yeah, basically she ends up, you know, finding the codes, and they stop the attack from happening, and then he's like, ha, now I know it's you, and he shoots her. And so I guess, you know, we're supposed to think she's dead. I highly doubt that. I mean, this Emilia Clarke was, like, highly touted out to be a major member of the cast here, and we're only at the halfway point, so yeah, logically it's like she's not dead. Somehow she's alive, or maybe another Skrull is gonna look like Emilia Clarke, and they're gonna try to pretend to be Talos' daughter. I don't know how they're gonna, like, play this off, but either way, you know, she's gonna come back somehow, I think. And yeah, basically we just get another good dialogue between Fury and his wife, who, you know, it's unclear where her allegiance is, and that's like the whole thing of the show, right? It's like at various points you're going to be unclear of who is, you know, on Fury's side and who's not. And we basically, you know, we kind of see how Nick Fury kind of, you know, fell for this Skrull operative, one of the, I think 19, he said, that Talos said there's 19 of them at first, who basically became his spy network, and they were the ones who made Nick Fury, right? Like the reason that he seems to always know everything and know like what's going on in the world and have all these like secret contacts and secret information is because it was Skrulls the entire time. Everything about Nick Fury's reputation throughout the years, it was Skrulls. That's basically like how he always knows things and how he's always like 2 steps ahead of everyone. Skrulls. Anyway, so he fell for one of them and that became his wife, and then they kind of talk about like, well, you know, you disappeared during the blip and I mourned you, and then you came back and I thought we were gonna like be cool, and then you disappeared again. You went on SWORD to the space station, so you know, it's like, and now she's like, I became who I was before you, you know. So it's like, okay, so she's on Gravik's side. She's definitely in his network somehow, because she takes a phone call later and she's given the mission supposedly to kill him. It's, you know, I have to imagine that's what it is, because she gets a gun out of this vault. So you know, who knows? Is Fury gonna have to take out his own wife? I don't know how that's gonna play out. I kind of doubt she's gonna full on betray him, but we'll see how that plays out. And yeah, Talos' daughter is supposedly dead. I highly doubt that that's actually the case. We're kind of just left wondering what's gonna happen with the Super Skrulls and what's going on there, because I mean, we full on see that Gravik now has the Extremis healing ability, right? So, you know, they said the word Super Skrulls. They're fully acknowledging that that's what's happening. Hopefully they really come into play next episode, because like I said, we're at the halfway point and I am kind of wondering like, what is the big event that they're trying to stop, right? Because we know they're making Super Skrulls, and we know like so far they've stopped or, you know, or tried to stop a couple of different like attacks throughout the world. But what is the big thing, right? Like there has to be like one big central thing that they're trying to stop from happening. It's kind of still unclear what that is. So yeah, hopefully we see some Super Skrulls. Hopefully we see like stuff really happen. And you know, I kind of want Rhodey to come back. You know, it was cool to see him in 2 appearances, but you know, and I think it is fair to criticize some of this a little bit, where it's like, I love the spy thriller element of it, but I am starting to wonder, like, this, you know, especially the moment they take out the Super Skrulls, it is going to be like, well, hey, Fury, I know what you said about the Avengers, and maybe they'll get copied or something, but, you know, at a certain point, you're going to need to bring some of the superheroes into the loop here, right? Like, at least get Rhodey, like, get him in the War Machine armor, get, you know, like, we gotta get some stuff done here, right? So I don't know. I guess we'll find out what happens, especially once the Super Skrulls show up. You know, are we finally gonna get some superheroes? Are we gonna have like a big battle? Because it seems like that's where it's headed. Because you know, how does Fury take on the Super Skrulls? You know, I can't really see that happening. So, you know, there's gonna have to be some kind of like Avengers type. You know, I got to make a phone call. I got a couple people to call because stuff's about to get more serious. Anyways, so far I'm still really enjoying the show. I'm just, you know, I'm kind of curious where we're headed, but we're at the halfway point. You know, like this show can very much still stick the landing. It's been great so far. You know, I've really enjoyed it. I know some people are like, it's too much talking, it's too boring, but for me, again, it's just that's the vibes of the show. I'm totally down with it. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think about Secret Invasion episode 3, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.